guys, this is T-Bone here. Welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game of Heroes, where today you get a first look at a brand new feature that the network team has put together called the Proving Ground. Now they also gave me this nice background to work with, so I decided to try something a little different than my normal video format. I'm going to be playing host today for you for this walkthrough. Now this video is made possible by Network Inc. They gave me access to a playtest build a few days prior so I could play with it and explore. And one thing I do want to call out is, since this is a playtest build, this is on a test server, not an actual real live production server, none of the numbers that you're going to see are still finalized yet. So that means by the time it actually goes live, it might be a little different. But having said all that, the mechanics and the gameplay remains the same. And what I want to do is walk you through all the components of it. And we're going to start with the basics, followed by the actual details of the various components of this feature. Let's take a look. So let's start by talking about some of the basics of what the Proving Grounds is. It's a daily activity, so you get to play this on a daily basis, and you get 2 attacks per day. When you enter into the Proving Grounds, you'll see this UI here where you are able to attack these bosses called Protector. So Protectors are going to be the name of the bosses, and you do get to attack them twice a day, and they will switch on a daily basis. So every day you're going to be fighting a different boss of a different affinity. Now, if you look at the UI here, you can see that this very much looks like its own event. You can see that there is a screen here that actually allows you to attack the boss, and then you can see that there's a store, there's the leaderboards, and some items that you can collect. You can also see a weekly leaderboard. Now, if you look at the tab on the top, you can see the weekly leaders, as well as the daily leaders within the week. You can see there's different affinities, and also the guilds that placed top in these various affinities. So it is a very guild-focused competition where the scores from your attacks are going to be accumulated so that you can actually see the leaderboards here. So now that you got to see the Proving Grounds a little bit from what it looks like in the game, I wanted to see if you noticed that we saw gauntlets as well as scrolls in there. So we're definitely going to be talking about those and understand what they are and what they do within the feature itself. But you also saw that there's a store, and of course there's a boss that we're going to attack. So we're going to go over each of those separately right now. Now let's quickly talk a little bit about Protectors and how they work. So Protectors can't die, they're immortal, so that you can't actually take it out in your attacks. So instead, the focus is to deal as much damage as you can to increase your score. And Protectors are also weak against killer skills, and they have these new effects. So we're going to take a look at a sample fight to see what these all mean and how they all come together. So we're going to take a look at the sample fight against Cataclysm, the light boss here. So we can see that the killer bonus is applied here, and you can see that there is no game clock. Instead, there is a timer on the top. Now, this is a playtest build, so the numbers aren't final. It is still subject to change. But what will not change is the fact that one of your heroes will always get shocked. In this case, shock is one of the abilities by the light protector. When it's shocked, it will not be able to participate in a fight. Instead, you can see that there is a timer indicator on top of the hero that tells you how many more turns before it's able to come back into the fight again. So this will impact your team, and it's going to impact your strategy and how you're going to play the fight overall. Now you can also see on the top here, there is a damage bar. So this is what will actually keep track of how much damage you need to do before you can get to the next threshold, which then allows you to collect the points. The points are what you're ultimately trying to maximize here every single fight. You can also see that there is an enraged icon on the left. Whenever the boss is enraged, it's going to deal more damage the higher that stack is. As the fight goes on, it is going to become more difficult because more of your heroes are going to be shocked and stunned, and the turn counter will actually go longer. In this case, there's 2 heroes that are out of commission, but then you can see in the very next turn, a total of 3 heroes are now stunned. So it is going to become more difficult, and because the stack of raged is actually higher, the boss is also dealing a lot more damage every time it hits. So as you can see, the Protectors actually can become pretty challenging. The longer the fight, the harder it becomes. So how do you deal with that? Well, if you remember when we first took a look at the Proving Grounds, we saw that there was a couple of items that were available. The first one is the Gauntlets. The second one is The scrolls. That's right. Scrolls are making its way back, and it's going to help bring the advantage back to you in these fights. Now, gauntlets are relics that you can equip on your team that can give you more advantage. They're basically relics that only work in the proving grounds. And you can have the basic ones that will give you team damage with every rage stack. And rage stacks are also what helps the bosses give you more attack, and this will give you equal footing to the bosses by equipping them. We saw earlier that we fought against a light boss Cataclysm, and so what we can also do is specialize these gauntlets to dark gauntlets. And you can see it's possible to get it up to 3 pink stars, and you can specialize them to be Slayer or Commander type gauntlets. If you take a look at a 6-star gauntlet, you can see that it starts to have more abilities, such as cleansing a shock. Earlier we saw that our bosses, our heroes were actually disabled because of shock, and this helps remove a turn. As you go higher in the pink stars, you can see that it also removes more of the turns, and then it also gives you more damage. Finally, at 3-star, this is where you can also see that it will remove 3 turns of shock from 2 heroes. Again, the numbers are subject to change here. These are just examples of what it could be like. Now, in addition to the gauntlets, you can also use scrolls. Scrolls are a one-time use item that can be very useful depending on the situation. And so you have various different scroll types. You can have one that gives you health increase to your total team. And if you go down, you can also see ones that have reduced damage, and also you can have one that can give you a regeneration of your health over time. Again, the numbers aren't finalized. So these are just examples of what it can do. And then you can also have these damage scrolls. Again, these are one-time use that are affinity based. This actually goes back to very similar to the days when we had the scroll vault. So these are items that can give you more damage. You can see here a 6-star damaging based scroll can actually deal a lot of damage against the bosses. But again, it's a single use, and it's depends on the situation that you are in, so that you can give yourself a little bit more of a damage boost or survivability. So let's take a look at some of these scrolls and see how they work against the bosses. We're going to examine the reduced damage, Raging Inferno, and Regenerate as examples. The damage reduction scroll will last a set of turns, and also the higher the star value, the more damage it can reduce. So it will help you last longer in later fights as the boss deals more damage. In this clip, I'll be showing you both the scroll and the gauntlet in action, starting with the scroll. You can see here Raging Inferno will actually deal damage to the boss, and this happens every single turn. Next, we're going to see how gauntlets actually work. We know that every turn, one of your heroes will be stunned with a timer, but with a gauntlet in play, it will reduce that timer, and in cases where it goes down to 0, your heroes can immediately attack again. So far, we've taken a look at the Proving Grounds and also the Protectors, and the whole idea of fighting them is so that you can place in leaderboards. Well, once you place in the leaderboards, you're going to be able to collect rewards on a daily basis. You get items such as Protector coins, and also you can get scroll gifts, etc. So what do you use these Protector coins for? You can actually use these coins in the Proving Grounds store, and to me, this is actually one of the highlights in this event as well, because the store has some really amazing rewards. So there are the Proving Grounds crates, which provides items such as affinity potions, the Proving Grounds scrolls, as well as gauntlets, and also materials for you to evolve the gauntlets. You can also use the coins to then get a Master Collection card or an ultra rare card of your choice. Now, the only way to get them is by using your Proving Ground coins to convert them into a choice coin. But once you convert them, then you can then pick any of the past Master Collection card or the ultra rare cards, so that you can help get that missing ultimate form for the team that you can use against the Proving Grounds. To me, this is an amazing way to get a card that you love but miss, and so I think that this is a really, really awesome idea. I personally am really excited about this. And that is all for today's episode, where I walk through the Proving Grounds for you. Thanks again to Network again for giving me access to the playtest build so that I can make this video. And thanks again to all of you for all of your support. Thanks again. Take care. I'll see you next time.